Whew, I will tell you, rowing 6,700 meters. That's a lot of rowing.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your tiny mind, dude.
My core was just killing me at one point. Just like from like the middle up.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh my god.
I don't know if that means you're right or wrong. I don't know shit about rowing, nor do I want to know anything about rowing. I had to do it for the entrance academy, and fuck that. That sucked. I got it done, but let me tell you, I felt it the next day.
It's another good way to get some good cardio.
It is, and it's not as stressful on your knees and ankles. Nope. So, it gives you the cardio, it gives you the full body workout. Mm-hmm. But there's a method to the row, and I don't know it. I look like a ding dong trying to do it. It was hilarious. Oh, it gets cold this morning.
I know. It's like decently cold.
Well, what do you say we start this show, since that's the people are probably here to see? Mm-hmm. I think we should do it. Jax, what do you think? All right, let's do it. Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Running Code, Humor in South Texas Law Enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone. My partner, J-Man, by my side as always. What's up?
Nothing much, man.
Cold this morning.
It sure is.
30 damn degrees, and it's supposed to get up into the 20s, and up north Texas, it was like 26 degrees this morning. Pass. I'm a hot weather guy. That's why I chose Texas. After all the time in the Middle East, I kind of got used to heat and love it. I don't do cold. I'd rather sweat than freeze. Thank you very much. This whole, you can put more clothes on. Well, you look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I'd rather just wear shorts, flip-flops, and a T-shirt and sweat a little bit than have to wear 12 layers to be warm.
More like 3. You'll be fine with 3 layers.
I'll pass. My parents live in Montana. That's a special kind of cold up there, man. That's the cold that just cuts right through you. It just slices through your body. I mean, it's hilarious. I go up there to visit, and my dad's wearing a robe and fucking flip-flops on the front porch, smoking a cigarette. It's 20 below. I step outside, and I got like 9 layers on, and I'm freezing as I'm trying to smoke a cigarette. But he's been out there so long, he's got that thick Montana blood. And I'll tell you, the summers in Montana are fucking gorgeous, like high 80s or like low 80s, but like it doesn't feel like a hot 80. It feels like a nice cool 80.
Right.
In the morning's 55. It's green. Oh, Montana's great. But, we don't have all the Montana's demographics are starting to change now. When they moved up there, it was red, very red. And then the Californians discovered Montana. They're moving in, and now they want to change it to California, which they fled from. It doesn't, make it make sense. But what we figured today we'd talk about is current events. There's a lot going on right now. And obviously the biggest thing in the news is the shooting of Renee Good in Minnesota, who was trying to interfere with an agent, with an operation. And she thought it'd be a fantastic idea to do this. And she's not the only one. She's just the most well-known. It sucked. I mean, off the top, nobody wants to see anybody die. They didn't want to kill anybody. We don't want to kill anybody. But when you involve yourself in law enforcement operations, there's always the potential for it to go south.
Yeah, especially when there's no, there's like the state that they're doing the operations in. Mm-hmm. They really don't support their operation, so they're kind of just left alone to like do their own thing.
When you tell the population they're not real cops, you don't got to listen to them. Well, of course they're not going to. Yeah. You just heard from your state's top leadership and the mayor of your city that, don't worry about them. They're not real cops. Well, for those that don't know, they're listening. They're law enforcement. Mm-hmm. They're federal law enforcement. They have the same authority as FBI agents, U.S. Marshals, DEA, ATF, Border Patrol, Customs. They are federal law enforcement officers, badged and sworn. I don't know why this is such a fucking mystery. Just because you don't like them doesn't mean they're not cops. We get the same thing here. Well, I don't like that particular agency. Well, they're still cops, whether you like them or not. If they hit their lights, you still got to pull over. When they take into custody, you still got to deal with it. But breaking down that incident, she inserted herself in an operation that was active and ongoing. So now it splits their attention. They're dealing with what they got to do, and now I got to deal with this. If she wanted to stand on the sidewalk and film, go ahead. To your heart's content. Yell and holler for all you want. Who cares? You drive your vehicle in, and they say, she was just trying to get away. No, she was laughing and joking in the video. Like, she thought this was funny. She thought she was having a good time. But now I'm not going to go on to that ICE agent probably shouldn't have stood in front of the car, because we're trained, don't stand in front of cars. But either way, he doesn't get to get ran over by her because she wants to get away because she thinks she's having fun. This is a good time to poke and prod until you piss the bull off and get a horn. She got a horn. It sucked. I don't want to see her dead. No one wants to see her dead. But maybe, just maybe, if you get involved in operations that aren't your business, things have a potential to go sideways. In this case, it went about as sideways as it could go.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden she was a good person and the world's greatest mother. And never mind, their kids are being taken away by CBS. I mean, yeah, a lot's coming out about her. And even her brother-in-law was like, she had that one coming. Like, she deserved that. Like, that was her fault.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all so annoying that like I hear like different like perspectives on it. I'm just like, man, when it all is like it's all over and the dust settles, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, but my question is, why when under Obama's administration when ICE was doing this, nobody said a word?
I don't even know. Honestly, I didn't even know like until like the stats started coming out about that Obama's administration did
Deported
deport a lot
almost
of people.
more people than any other administration, except maybe now this one.
I had no idea.
Obama's administration, silence. Trump's first administration, no one gave a shit. Biden, same. Under his administration, ICE doing their job, no one said shit. Now that's happening again, this time under Trump's second term. All of a sudden, he's a fascist. All of a sudden, he's a dictator. All of a sudden, he's so mean. But it wasn't me when Obama's administration was doing it, or Biden's administration was doing it, or even Trump's first term, which is weird, because he couldn't fart wrong without a political response. But all of a sudden, now it's a problem.
Oh man.
Let me make something real clear. Nobody in this country has a problem with legal immigration. None. You come here, you do it right. I want to know who you are. Pay your taxes, get a job, support your own family. The government's not supporting your family. You support your family, then welcome to America. That's the American dream. When you do it illegally, and then we got to spend our hard-earned tax dollars to support you because now you're here. No, that's bullshit. No other country on earth does anybody give a shit about protecting their borders. But we protect our borders, and we're the bad guys. We kick out people that don't belong here. We're the bad guys. And apparently no one is paying attention to Western Europe because they've been doing this for about 10 years now, and they're paying the price in a big way in Western Europe. Crime rate skyrocketed, sexual assault rate skyrocketed, murder rate skyrocketed, the assault rate has skyrocketed in Western Europe. And that's UK, France, Belgium, Holland. They're all paying the price for this liberal immigration policies. There are countries on earth that don't allow that, and they don't have any problems. Poland doesn't allow it. They've had no problems. Japan doesn't allow it. They've had no problems. There's countries that don't allow this crap. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you don't belong here. We don't want you. Have a nice day. And nobody calls them racist. Nobody accuses them of being prejudiced. No, it's a security measure. We don't know who you are. And it's funny, if you ask any of these liberals that are bitching and whining about ICE, well, then how about you take one of these illegals into your home? Oh, and they say it on these interviews. You watch them. Well, I need to know some things about him first. No kidding. You mean you want to actually know who this person is before you allow them into your home? So think of this country as your home, because it is your home. You know, maybe not your state, but it's still your home. You're allowing them in. It's burglary writ large. That's what it is. You wouldn't allow a person you don't know to come into your house without your permission and do whatever they want. You would have a problem. You call 911. There's a stranger in my house. So why is it when they come in this country illegally, which is burglary writ large? Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Who cares? It's okay.
Do you think that if there was more like like cohesion between the feds and the local municipalities
Yes.
or the local SOs,
I think that would help.
the operations wouldn't look as bad as they do? I'm talking about just wild because obviously the tactics and the training is different between ICE agents and local law enforcement. It looks like it's a clear difference. Not a clear difference, but it's different.
Well,
But-
they do things differently than we do.
Yeah.
They're not street cops. Some are that
Yeah.
came from law enforcement agencies and went to ICE because of a great bonus, move up in the federal level. But I would be really concerned about moving into ICE because if you don't get a Republican in the office the next time around, they may start chopping spots.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right now is a good time to do it. Like if you're at the latter end of your career and you've already retired from your law enforcement agency, you want something to do, and if you get fired, whatever. But if you had 5 years LAPD or Chicago PD or Dallas PD or whatever, and then after 5 years, I'm going to go try this ICE thing, and then in 4 years, hey, sorry, we're cutting ICE by 75%. You just hosed yourself, and you may not be able to go back to your old agency. Who knows? Or you may be stuck, or who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But they do handle things differently than we do. Now, I'm not saying they're wrong. How they handle it is how they handle it. They have different policies. different rules, how they handle shit. But should we support them? Yes, because they're still law enforcement.
And kind of that's the part that I mean. It's like if you do have some officers, local officers on the ground, and they're able to provide some sort of barrier or shielding, then you won't see all the wild. I feel like you wouldn't see as much of the wild stuff as like people jumping on the hoods of the cars, trying to block them with their cars, and all this stuff. But to be honest with you, it's like the local cops, municipalities, they're being used as pawns by politicians.
Of course they are.
That's all we are, is a pawn on a chain.
Some agencies are telling their guys, don't even get involved. Don't help them. Don't get involved. Don't back them up. Well,
and you leave them to their own devices, and they're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And then you can't
complain about it. We need to work together, all together. The illegal immigration problem is a huge crime issue. It really is. 70%, the last stats I saw says 70% of the crime committed in the Southwest states, California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, are illegals. The huge majority of crashes alone are illegals. They don't have licenses, they don't have insurance, they don't care. They come from countries where driving rules really, or whatever you feel like. Here they cause a huge majority of the crashes we deal with. If you remember during COVID, when it was only essential people could go to work, most of those essential people had licenses, insurance. It was funny. Our crash rate went down like 75%.
Yeah.
There was no traffic. It turned out all the non-essential people causing all the fucking crashes on the damn highway. The people that don't need to be driving because they're not allowed to drive anyway. I tell you, if you could magically overnight like make one wish and say, I would like every unlicensed, unregistered, uninsured vehicle off the road, you wouldn't have a traffic jam anywhere in the United States. You wouldn't have any crashes for the most part in the United States. It would drop probably 90%. 90%. You wouldn't have traffic. Houston would probably be free-flowing. LA would be free-flowing on the highway. But that's who's causing the crashes, people that don't give a shit. Because people that move here typically don't give a shit. If you come here illegally, you think they give a fuck about getting a license or driving correctly? No, they're already breaking one law. And these lawmakers, these senators and Congress critters, are like, oh, illegal immigrants are not breaking the law. I'm like, you forgot the first word of that whole sentence, illegal.
Well, let's touch on that. That one party doesn't see it as a law. They see it as a civil infraction. I can't even put the word civil crime because they don't believe it's a crime, period.
Well, their belief doesn't make it reality.
No person is illegal. Is like kind of one of the phrases, which, okay.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, but then what's the point of having a chapter for like immigration law, like in the United States Code? Why even have it?
Yeah.
Why has nobody tried to repeal it? Period.
Yeah.
It's just strange. Like, and I think the biggest thing is how the enforcement is happening. People don't like the ICE hanging out at the schools, repelling from helicopters and all the what they consider like excessive use of force or what have you. I mean, if you're kind of like being like people throwing snowballs at you, they're like trying to like pull you from a car, they're not beating on your window and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. What do you expect them to do?
Yeah. They think that they can do what they want and they're not allowed to have any reaction back. Wrong.
Yeah.
If you're throwing anything at me, I don't know if you put a rock inside that snowball. I don't know.
There's literally like, they were throwing snowballs.
Yeah.
Like,
but someone can put a rock in that damn snowball.
It can. They can put a rock
or
in
some
snowball.
tannerite.
Because if anybody who's been around snow, you can pack it real good. Put ice in the middle of it and then pack it with soft snow and wing that thing.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as that freaking soft snow breaks, you get hit with the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
you don't have a right to riotous behavior. There's no right to that. You have a right to peacefully assemble. You have the right to redress your government. Those are legal rights you have that are protected and will be protected by law enforcement as well. But you do not have the right to attempt to harass them, interfere with their operations, block them, assault them, and then get shocked when they respond with tear gas and rubber bullets. Yes, they're pushing you back. Other countries don't use the tear gas and the rubber bullets. They use bullets.
Or they use a water cannon. There's some countries that they use a water cannon.
We used to use water cannons, and they were highly effective. And then, that brings us back to the 60s and the Watts riots and the Compton riots, and this is racist. No, it's an effective riot control technique. It's water. Shoves them back. But it brings back bad images from the 60s, so they just don't do it anymore. So you would rather be sprayed? You'd rather be hit with rubber bullets or CS tear gas?
One guy got just straight up like,
You lost an eye,
well, yeah. So because he was
but
like, he was super close, and he was actually looked like he was trying to push at the ICE agent. So the ICE agent just hit him with the
yeah, I'm like,
with the
well,
canister of
what do you
tear
think's
gas.
gonna happen?
That sucks. I mean, but what do you?
But what do you expect
can't-
to happen?
You can't just go and shove ICE agents. You
And you
can't,
can't
interfere
try to
with
put your
them
hands
trying
on
to
their
place somebody
weapons.
into custody. Yeah.
There was that one where he reached forward for the ICE officer's weapon. He just lifted it up and elevated it and pulled the trigger, and boom, face full. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what happens when you try to take their weapons from them. You don't get to do that because you don't like it. That's not how that works. And it is against the law in almost probably every state to attempt to disarm a law enforcement officer, whether it's state, federal, county, or city. It doesn't matter. You cannot disarm a law enforcement officer because you don't like what they're doing, because we have to assume that you're going to use the weapon on us next. They don't have an interest in pulling the trigger. Stay the fuck away from them, and they'll leave you alone. It's that simple. Just let them work, and they'll leave you alone. They won't even talk to you. They'll leave you alone. You can holler whatever stupid, ignorant, left-wing liberal bullshit you want on the sidewalk, and they'll ignore you. Just stay over there. We've had it happen in our operations. Like, just stay over there. You can film all you want. Just stay over there. Stay outside of my airspace, and you can do whatever the hell you want from over there. When you get involved or you stand in front of cars, there was a great video, and this woman, oh my God, it was hilarious. I don't know what she thought was going to happen, but she's pushing on front of a Tahoe, which weighs 6,000 pounds. And he's driving like 2 miles an hour, but he's not stopping. And she's like, stop, help, stop. And she's shoving on the bumper trying to get to stop him. He's just driving. He's like, no, you're not going to stop me. Now he's going slow enough to where he won't hurt her, but he's not going to be stopped either. And she just flabbergasted that he didn't just sit there. He's like, no, I'm just going to drive. And he had the sirens going and the horn going and all that shit and the fucking the lights on, but no, you're not going to interfere with him. And finally, she just kind of rolled off the side. And, oh my God! I was like, what did you think he was going to do?
Yeah, I know there's some people who claim that the ICE agents are ramming or like hitting people with their vehicles, but they're actually standing in front of them and pushing them away. And the ICE agent they have a legitimate fear for their safety. I can see it.
If you surround a car,
when they're surrounded
yes.
on all points of the vehicle.
Yes.
So while they might not accelerate at you at 35 miles an hour, but if they're just going like 5 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour, but you're still staying in front of the car and you're trying to push on it, like you said. I seen a video where a guy jumped on the hood.
Yeah.
It was in front of the window, in front of the windshield.
Total tool.
And then I think he slid off, and I think the vehicle still kept going at slow speed. And I think the dude either got out the way or he fell and rolled out of the way. But my thing is, well, why would you want to do that?
Yeah, why would you?
That's not
why do you
peaceful.
insert yourself in something that's not your damn business?
That's not peaceful protest. I feel like
There's
the
this one
definition
going,
of peaceful protest is
TikTok.
changing.
They're shooting us because of the color of our skin. No, your color has absolutely nothing to do with
Oh,
it.
white people getting shot.
Oh, white people getting shot too.
With canisters and stuff like that. I'm like, fuck.
Then there was that one guy, I don't know, well, guy, girl, I'm not really sure watching the video. And I'm not being mean. I just don't know exactly what he or she is. I'm just not sure. But it was like, they killed Renee Good because she was queer. I'm like, no, her sexual orientation had zero to do with this. They didn't give a shit what color she was, what her sexual orientation was. She was interfering in law enforcement operations. They ordered her out of the car. She realized, oh, shit, I'm about to go to jail. She floors it towards an ICE agent. It doesn't matter if she's trying to get away. He must reasonably assume she's going to run his ass over. And he took the legal, which every state allows this. If you're trying to run an officer over, they can shoot you. They can. If they can't get out of the way, they can shoot you. Now, there's this, well, he shouldn't have stood there. And blah, blah, he should have given her an out and yak. We're not required to retreat. You placed yourself there. We didn't ask her to come into the operation and go, okay, now you're insert. Now we're going to shoot you in the head. Not how that works. That's not what happened. She inserted herself. And there's been a couple other shootings up in Minneapolis since then as well. Now, those, you notice they don't know their names. Would you like to know why you don't know their names?
Well, I think the one after the good one was, I guess somebody, I think an immigrant tried to hit one of the ICE agents with a shovel. And I think that dude got shot in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's lucky he didn't get shot in the face.
but I think that one clearly doesn't have enough traction because, there's one that's...
He's actually swinging a deadly weapon where you can't really go, ooh, you can't really spin that one.
Yeah.
Then there's the one in San Antonio where the illegal Cuban immigrant tried to run over an ICE agent, or he ran their car.
Yeah.
They didn't shoot him.
Yeah.
They could have. They showed amazing restraint, probably because they're like, nah, we don't need to be on the news. But he got a few monkey bumps. He got a few smacks when they got his ass out of that car.
Mm.
I'm like, well, that's what happens, dude. Now, I think the only reason they didn't is because they were inside the car when he rammed him. So ramming a car with another car is not quite the same level as a person because
Right.
you are still protected in the car somewhat. But if it had been outside the car and he went for him, yeah, they probably would have smoked him too. You cannot do that. There's a million videos of people trying to run officers over, and the officer smokes the driver, and nothing. That car is a deadly weapon. It is a 5,000-pound piece of metal that will squish you flat and cause serious bodily injury or death. You can use deadly force to stop serious bodily injury or death of yourself or a third party.
Mm.
I don't know why. And people are like, that's why they're using force against agents. Well, I'm protecting an innocent party. You're not. Those are actually criminals, and those are law enforcement officers doing their job to remove the criminal. You can't stop them, and you cannot interfere with them. That's their job. They're doing their job. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. Go home. Now, while we're on the topic of going home, people fled Venezuela because of Maduro, and before that, Chavez.
Mm.
Well, they're gone. So why aren't you going home now?
I mean,
Because life
probably
is good.
life is good.
Life is
here
good
compared
here.
to there.
You get free shit, free groceries, free food, free rent, free everything. You don't pay taxes. You get health care. You get SNAP. You get food stamps. You get welfare. Yeah, why the hell would you want to go back to Venezuela? Life is good. Here, you don't worry about cops beating the crap out of you for just looking at them. Venezuela, you sure as hell do. All those countries south of the U.S. border, their cops are wholly different. Their cops don't play no games. Now, are they trained to our levels? No. Are they licensed like we are? No. Basically, I like you, you're a cop, here's your gun. They don't have a civil right. From the U.S.-Mexico border south, they don't have civil rights like we do. Canada has civil rights. We have civil rights. Western Europe has civil rights. Asia, never heard of them.
I mean, they might have a little bit, right?
Not in Asia.
Not even like a right to an attorney.
Most times, no. In fact, the South Koreans are just baffled by our entire justice system. They're like, so a murderer's confession, you don't allow it in court because he didn't know he had the right to remain silent? What kind of bullshit is that? He still confessed. Whether he knew he had the right to be quiet or not, that's dumb. Because in their mind, the victim should get more sway than the guilty, which I don't agree with because you can rush a judgment and convict the wrong person. But I do agree with if somebody admits, and in the modern era, everybody knows what the fucking Miranda warning is. How many times have you heard when you arrest somebody, you gonna read me my rights? Which means you already know your fucking rights. So I don't need to read them to you. You know them. So there was a court case where that did not work in that guy's favor. He knew his Miranda rights. They didn't read him his Miranda warning because he kept asking, I know my rights. I know my rights. I know my rights. You going to read me my rights? Well, okay, if you know your rights, I don't have to read them to you. They didn't interrogate him. He did confess to the crime. They tried to toss out the court case on the Miranda violation, and the judge was like, no. He said several times he knew his rights. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you just said you knew your rights. So it's kind of like that. Those police officers I've arrested, I've Mirandized all of them. But do they know their rights? Yes. They're police officers. They know their rights. But the Supreme Court does not differentiate for occupations.
Mm-hmm.
It says all persons detained or in custody that are not freely being questioned must have their Miranda warning read to them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say, well, if they're cops, you don't have to. But I can't sit there and look anyone in the eye and go, I don't know the Miranda warning. I've given it 1,000 damn times. I know the Miranda warning. But that argument didn't work because he kept saying, I know my rights. I know my rights. I know my rights. You don't got to read my rights. I know my rights. Then are you going to read my rights? Like, you just told him you knew your rights. So that case, he did the conviction upheld.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember which circuit court it was. I don't think it was Fifth, which is Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi. I don't remember what circuit court that was, but that was a famous case. I just wish I could remember the case law now. I need to find that. But yeah, no, he screwed himself with his own mouth. He said he knew his rights. I know him. I know him. I know him. I know him. Okay. Well, then I guess I don't got to read him to you then, do I? Now, should they have read him anyway? Yeah, they should have. But he was goading them into not reading them is what he was doing. It just didn't work out in his favor. And the either the circuit court or the Supreme Court upheld the arrest and the conviction. Said, no, it was good. He said he knew it. So these days of people not knowing their Miranda rights is bullshit. Everyone has watched TV. Everyone knows what the Miranda warning is. Whether it's they watch Blue Bloods or Law and Order SVU or any of the Law and Orders or any movie with cops, everyone knows the fucking Miranda warning now. But that's that's probably going to end up being a landmark case eventually at some point. But
Yeah.
it's still just a good idea to read the fucking Miranda warning. If they're not free to leave, whether they're detained or arrested, they're not free to go, and you're going to ask them questions pertaining to a crime that may elicit an incriminating response, you need to read the Miranda warning. Just read the fucking thing, okay? Because what I have found in the 12 years of doing this fucking job, you'll read these idiots their Miranda warning, and 10 minutes later, they forgot you read it to them.
Yeah, I like to remind them.
I don't.
I don't. I'll remind them.
I already told you. So if your dumbass forgot it, that's your fault. Now, for what you were doing as a patrolman versus me as a detective, yeah, it's less to right. Like, please shut the fuck up. You don't say another word. But for me as a detective, I want them to talk. So if I get them into interrogation, I'll read in their Miranda. And if they don't, and you have to unequivocally make it clear you will not speak without a lawyer and that you want a lawyer present. You can't say, well, I wonder if I should have a lawyer. You did not invoke your right. You didn't ask for one, and you didn't say, I'm not talking. You have to, the courts have ruled over and over again, you must unequivocally tell law enforcement you do not wish to speak without a lawyer present. End of story. That I am not talking to you without a lawyer present, or I'm not speaking to you. But you can't ask questions about it, or, well, maybe I should have a lawyer. I'm not sure if I should speak to you. You've not invoked your right. You must unequivocally invoke the right. So I've had people in interrogation, because as an investigator, I actually put people in the box quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And if they're free to leave, then there's two ways to do it. If they're going to be free to go, and I tell them that up front, hey, dude, you're free to leave at any time. I don't have to read your Miranda. You're free to go. I haven't locked the door in the interrogation room. You're free to leave. I don't have to read your Miranda. And your confession is 100% still admissible and valid. But I have to let them go. Mm. No matter what they admit to, I have to let them leave. Now, that doesn't mean as soon as they walk out the door, I'm not banging out a warrant for their arrest. Okay, but they were allowed to leave. Or you have another investigator watching the video and writing the warrant based on their confession and getting it signed while they're in there. And then, all right, man, you're free to go. They walk out and warrant is waiting. I'll let you leave. You're out of the building. I'll let you leave. So that is legal. It's 100% legal. You can do that. I think it's dirty pool, but sometimes you got to play that game. But if they're not going to be free to go, I read in the Miranda right then and there. And I do it on camera. And interrogation is an art. It's not a science. It's an art because every person is different. And one tactic may not work on this person. It may work on this one, but it doesn't work on this person. So when I get them in there, I go, hey, look, I got to read you this, policy and this law, Miranda. You've heard Miranda? Yeah, I got to read it to you. You have the right to remain silent. You know that, right? You have the right to have an attorney present, but all that. And you understand all that, right? No, I get that. All right, man. You just sign right there that I read your Miranda warning. Now, I don't have to make them sign if they don't choose to sign because you're still on camera. In fact, you're on 2 cameras. And if I have my body camera in there running with me, you're on 3 cameras where you read it or it was read to you. You said you understood it verbally. So you don't have to sign it because you already said it verbally. You understand it.
Yep.
And then the way I do it is I don't go right into the questioning. That's the worst thing you can do. You start, oh, man, where are you from? Oh, that's cool. Where'd you go to high school? Start soft shoeing into it, get them comfortable answering easy questions that have nothing to do with the crime that gets them into that mode of talking. And then go, hey, man, we got to talk about what happened, dude. And 9 out of 10, it works. 9 out of 10, it works. And they start giving you a confession. They start telling you things you didn't know. I'll show them the video. Be like, hey, man, here's the video, dude. What do you want me to do here, man? That's you. I don't have a choice. And they'll watch the video and they're like, oh, yeah, sir. I don't know why I did that. That was so stupid of me. And I'm like, keep talking. You just walk. It's like fishing. You don't jerk the line as soon as you get the fish. You reel it in slowly up onto the dock. So a lot of brand new interrogators, they read the Miranda warning and go right into, why'd you do it? I know you did it. I can just be like, you just read my Miranda warning. Fuck you, I want a lawyer. Like, fuck. You got to soft shoe them into it. Now you're going to get some that, as soon as you're reading the warning either way, they're like, I'm not speaking to that lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. All right, take them out. And if you already had enough PC, just tell them, hold them, let me write the warrant. Maybe I didn't need their confession, but I would like their confession. Don't always need it. I will always try to get it because if you don't attempt to talk to the suspect, the defense attorney in court says, did you attempt to interview my client? No. Well, why not? Why didn't you get his side of the story? Because I know your client's a dirtbag who's going to Mirandize up, not wasting my time. So at least try. So I can say, I did try to talk to your client. He invoked his right to remain silent, which is his right, but he didn't speak to me. But I did try to talk to your client. And usually that works. Like you're showing the jury, like, yeah, I did try to talk to him. I tried to talk to him, but sometimes it's not always possible. They either don't answer the phone, or you do find them and get them down. They don't talk. Hey, I tried. Whatever. If it's misdemeanors, I don't generally bother. If I have eyewitnesses, credible witnesses, evidence, videos, whatever, I may not even bother. Just file the case and let the DA's office deal with it. Felonies are a little different, especially if they're, because I'm a crash investigator, so I do the evading, felony hit and run with injuries, which means you hit someone injured and drove the fuck off. Those are felonies. Yeah, I'm going to try to get you in the box. And if not, I'll come find you. So, and if I talk to you on the phone as a suspect, I don't have to Mirandize you. You can hang up anytime. I cannot force you to stay on the phone. You can hang up anytime. So no, I don't have to read your Miranda. You can give me a full confession over the phone. I'm recording it. And the way I do it is I start the recording, dial the phone, so it gets the entire, nothing was cut off. This is when the phone call started. Get them on the line. Hey, I'm Detective so-and-so. I'm looking for so-and-so. Hey, sir. Oh, that's me. Now you just said who you were. Because I always give full name. Man, I'm looking for Johnny X. Oh, I'm Johnny X. Hey, Johnny X, I'm Detective so-and-so. Nice to, talk to you. Hey, listen, man, the reason I'm calling is XYZ. Had that little crash over on Crestway and whatever, and Jimmy Road with your Ford. Do you know the incident I'm talking about? Sometimes I'm like, oh, no, what are you talking about? Other times, yeah. Okay, it was back on December 1st. Do you remember that? Yeah. Do you know who was driving your car? Or you can just say, how come you didn't stop and call law enforcement? Oh, I was scared. You just admitted you fucking did it, So it's all how you phrase it. And be like, what were you scared of, dude? It's just a crash. Like, it happens. You might have gotten a ticket for not having a license, but big whoop. You stayed on scene. No, you made sure that other person wasn't injured. You made a mistake. It was an accident, but you make sure they're okay. You're good. Ain't a crime. So why'd you leave? I was scared of what? Oh, I had a ticket warrant. Dude, we don't care about ticket warrants. Don't care. Or you hear, well, I had a warrant. Okay. One has nothing to do with the other, though. Like, it happens all the time. You could have been the victim of the crash, but you got a warrant. We had to take you and have a choice, but it doesn't have anything to do with the warrant. We're going to get you one way or another. And they'll admit it on the phone, and they'll just talk because they're on the phone. They feel safe. Not understanding that I don't have to read your Miranda. You're free to leave by virtue of it being a phone call. You can go click and hang up anytime you want to, and the conversation's over.
Yep.
And I can't make you answer the phone when I call you back, because sometimes it will hang up. I'll try. I'll leave like 9 messages. I'll leave a voicemail on camera, and then I'll send them a text. Hey, you really need to call me back. I think we got cut off. Hey, I think we lost the signal, and it's not going back through. And sometimes I'll never hear from them again. Other times, I don't wish to speak to that lawyer, and they'll text me that. Okay, whatever. Fine. I tried. End recording. But a lot of times on the phone, they will admit to it. But here's the funniest thing in the world. I can tell you every person that's ever used my vehicles. I know exactly who uses my car and when they use it. But it is amazing all these people whose cars are used in hit and runs. I have no idea who's using my car that day. This was 2 days ago. You don't know who's using your car 2 days ago? I have no idea. You don't think that's weird that you have no idea who's using your car? By the way, the person got to look at you and he looks like your driver's license photo. Looks like you a lot. Oh, no, that wasn't me. Well, who else drives your car that looks like you? Do you have a twin?
I remember a guy said someone stole his car, and then they brought it back and parked it like directly in front of his house. Like,
yeah.
What?
I have heard that more than once.
Oh, he took the car. The thief took the car.
So you
did
have
whatever and then returned it.
You have the considerate car thief. He uses the car to do what he's got to do, and then brings it back and parks it right where he left it.
I'm like, all right, buddy. I mean, whatever.
I'm like, okay, how come you didn't report it? So I had a felony evading along with foot evading and reckless driving from one of our sergeants. And I got the case, and I'm watching the footage, and the car's obviously trying to get away. As soon as he lit him up, and it was just registration. But as soon as he lit him up, man, that dude floored it. And he's taking off. And he's driving through a neighborhood like 45, 50 miles an hour, blowing stop signs at full speed. The school's about to get out. So the sergeant's like, yeah. So he started to back off, and then all of a sudden the dude slammed on the brakes, yanked the door open, and just fled in the woods. Well, that's felony evading and foot evading and reckless driving, because while them stop signs you blew, and he almost hit 2 cars while doing it. So it's reckless driving all day long. Well, I get a hold of the owner. Finally, I get a hold of the vehicle owner. I'm like, hey, who was using your car on that date? And I gave him the date. And he's like, we didn't even know the car was gone until the tow yard called us. Well, why didn't you report it stolen then? We got it back. What was the point? It would have prevented this conversation right here.
Yeah.
Because I can be like, oh, the car was stolen. The car was reported stolen. From this time to this time, the crime happened in between that. Yeah, it probably wasn't the owner. But the guy, the suspect, looked a lot like the owner's son. Turned out it wasn't. Because he didn't have the same tattoos that the driver did. As he ran off, you could see his legs covered in tattoos. And I got the son in there. I said, lift your pant legs. No tattoos. All right, man, you're good. Have a good day. I kept around and said, do you know anybody who knew about the car? Anybody who's expressed interest in taking the car, driving the car? And I showed them the video. Do you recognize the guy by any chance? They didn't know who he was. But they didn't report the car stolen because, we got it back. Okay, but it covers you that the car was stolen from here. When's that? Because what's the question I always ask? When's the last time you saw the car?
Yeah.
And then till the time we find it. That establishes a time frame.
Yeah.
From this time to this time, the owner couldn't have committed the crime. He'd already reported the car stolen. It was gone. I mean, this doesn't mean you just close the book on that. You want to make sure and cover yourself. But if it's within 60 days, you can go across the street to the neighbors. Hey, I need to look at your Ring cameras or your Vivint cameras or Brinks or whatever the hell you got. The car got stolen right in front of your house. And there's the owner getting in the car. It's like... And then the evading happened like 5 minutes later. It's like, I think we can reasonably assume that 5 minutes from that point, you were in the car. The car wasn't stolen in that 5 minutes. Because whenever you report a car stolen, where were you at? Where was the car at? Where was it parked? Did you leave it unlocked? Who had the keys? Who had access to it? What time was the last time you saw it? And this traps you if you did do something stupid. If you didn't, you're not trapped. Those are, okay, we can, at least from this time to this time, we know. From the time we recovered it to the time it was reported stolen, everything in here is what's important.
Mm-hmm.
But if you did something stupid and you're trying to use that excuse, I trap you with your own bullshit. Because then I got Ring camera footage from across the street of you getting in the car and then 3 minutes later running from us.
Yeah.
I think we can safely say that in those 3 minutes from the time you got in the car to the time you ran, somebody else didn't get in behind the wheel. Unless you didn't report a carjacking right down the street, maybe. So, but people don't realize there is cameras everywhere.
Yeah. That's
everywhere. True. Ring cameras, Vivint,
well,
Flock.
And that's just like so we can stay on current events, especially about cameras. Oh, Flock thing is getting a lot of flack.
It is.
From like different municipalities that are using it.
It's a violation of our privacy. No, it's not. You're out in the public.
It's once again, I think it's just one of those things where it's not properly explained. It's just kind of like whatever government is saying, well, we installed these cameras and this is what we installed it for, very brief description, and that's it.
Well, these same people bitching wouldn't be mad if we found, say, the killer of one of their relatives using those cameras.
Yeah, because I know
then all of a sudden, oh my God, thank you so much. So let me make something real clear to our listeners. You don't have a right to privacy in the public. None. Your license plates are not private. Mm-hmm. Those are state-owned. The license plates are owned by the state, not you, which means we can run your plates anytime we want to without any kind of justification, reasonable suspicion, or probable cause. You can just run them. You can just drive through traffic, run that plate, or that. Oh, that one's stolen. I didn't need any kind of legal justification to run your license plate. It belongs to the state. So I have access to that because I'm an agent of the state and an officer of the court. I can run your plates. They're mine. You're out in public. You don't have a right to privacy. So these Flock cameras and Vigilant cameras and Axon cameras and all that, they're all in public. Notice none of these cameras are pointed into your house. They're at the entrance of subdivisions or they're on major thoroughfares entering municipalities. And exiting municipalities.
So some of the pushback is one of the things I've heard criticisms is that the government can use the Flock camera to map someone's whereabouts.
Yes.
But they think they're just using it in general to map just
civilians. They think we're just randomly just wanting to see where someone's at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's not what we're doing. For one, when we go into Flock or Vigilant or Axon or Clear, and these programs that have license plate readers, we have to put the case number, the reason we're searching for it, and what that person's accused of or the crime that they're accused of, and then we have to put a time frame we're looking for, then we can look at the results. You can't just put it in and then get everything. You have to put the reason. And then there has to be a case number, and that case number better correlate with a case that has something to do with that car. So that's it's called an RFI, reason for inquiry. I'll put in there, this vehicle was used in a felony hit and run where someone was injured. Suspect vehicle. Here's the case number. Now I've justified why I'm using the Flock cameras. I don't just go in there and pull the cameras and, let's just look at every car going by. That's not how those cameras work. Can we use them that way if we're using a broad, like we just had a drive-by shooting? Let's say Call came in. Someone's Ring camera caught the shots at exactly 3:31 a.m. from this house as they drove by. And we get a vague, okay, it's white. It's a white sedan. That's all we know. It's a white sedan. Probably a Nissan Altima, but, it's a white sedan. We can go to the cameras in that area, the flock cameras, and put the case number in and put white sedan from this time to this time and look at all the white cars and see which one. Oh, 1 minute later, it exits the neighborhood, driving away at high speed. That could be a suspect. And that's what we're using them for.
Yeah.
We're not just randomly watching people like, let's see where this Joe Citizen goes. We don't give a shit where Joe Citizen goes. If you're not a suspect, I don't give a shit where you go. You have nothing to do with me. I don't care. But they don't explain it. You're right.
That's it's just, and I don't know if they don't know how to explain it, or maybe there's a lack of understanding
Or they just
about
don't
the
have-
system, and they didn't just learn enough to properly explain it. I mean, people will still have an issue with it, but I feel like there just be more like clarity.
Here's the thing. If you do nothing wrong, you don't have anything to worry about. It doesn't involve you. Fuck off. Stop getting involved. Just like going back to the ICE shit. You're not involved. Why are you getting involved in it if it has nothing to do with you? If you're a citizen, stay out of the fucking way. It doesn't involve you. Okay, but too many people want to get involved in shit that they have no business getting involved in. It has nothing to do with them, but they want to get involved in it either for likes or for views or because that's what's popular right now or whatever. Stay out of the way and just ignore what's none of your business. Be that guy that's mowing the yard with headphones on while SWAT's hitting the house next door. Ignore it completely. Just stay out of it. It's not your business. It's not your concern. When people try to insert themselves into people's affairs, that's when bad things happen. Just stay out of the way. So why do you care if you've done nothing wrong, you've committed no crime, and you know we're not looking for you? Why do you care what we're using the cameras for? I can't see inside your car. I can't see what you're doing with your phone. I don't know where you're coming from or where you're going. You're out in the public. Just like anybody has the right to film someone in public. You don't have a privacy right in public. I can film you. You can film me. I can film anybody I want to out in the public. Now, I'm not going to get in their face and shove my phone right in their face like this, because that's a good way to get punched in the mouth. But I have the right to stand and just film people. If I want to, I can just film them. And we get those calls all the time. This guy is standing across the street from the mall filming. Okay, and? Well, we want you to talk to him. For what? Why would I force a confrontation? He's not breaking the law. What if he was just standing there at the bus stop? Would you call then? No. So you're calling because he's filming? Yeah. Why is that not okay? You're in public.
Yeah.
You're outside of your house. Remember, listeners, your home is your ultimate privacy.
Mm-hmm.
The Supreme Court has ruled that over and over and over. That is your castle. That is the ultimate level of privacy is your house. The next level of privacy is your car, which does not have the same level of privacy as a house, but it still has some privacy. But unlike where I can search a car based on probable cause on the scene, like on a traffic stop, I can't search the house based on probable cause unless I get it in a warrant and sign. I take that probable cause, put it in a warrant, and a judge signs it. Then I come back and go open the door now. So we've done it to where we kick the door on the house, get inside the house, get everybody detained, and start seeing the crap in public view. All right, let's get a warrant. And you start banging out a warrant for the rest of the house. I'm going to do a protective sweep, make sure that no one's going to shoot me in the back while I'm in the house. But once you get the protective sweep done, you just hold what you got, narcotics or violent crimes or homicide, whoever the hell it is, writes a warrant, and then we show back up. We have to read the warrant to the person on scene who owns the house or was living there. We're going to read the warrant to them on scene. Here's their copy on the coffee table or the kitchen counter, and then we're going to search the house with them sitting right there. We'll have them sit right there while we do it. In cuffs, sitting right there while we search the whole house. Found the dope, found the guns, found whatever the hell it is, found the kiddie porn, whatever. We found it. And then you have to put on the return. This is what we're seizing from the house. 3 firearms, show numbers this, and this. 2.3 kilos of cocaine. Whatever. Whatever we seized, we have to put on what's called a return. And then we put on the return, and we get it back to the judge, and they stamp it. That's what we took from the house. It's a simple process. But when you're out in public, you have no right to privacy. So these agents don't care if you film them in public. Film them all you want. They don't give a shit. Don't interfere. Don't block entrances and exits. Don't block their cars. Don't assault them. Try to pull them out of cars. It's going to end badly for you. You're going to catch a set of brass knuckles to the face. Oh, and that's your fault. Stay out of the way. Just get away. And if I told you the tsunami's coming, would you stand there and film the tsunami? or get the fuck out of the way of the tsunami.
Storm chasers might.
Well, these idiots might stand there on the beach. Wow, that's really cool. Wow, that's really high. Oh, shit. And their last thought is, oh, shit, I fucked up. Yeah. And I feel bad for Renee Good's family. Let me be real clear about that. But she made the mistake. She made her choices. She's now responsible for her choices. So everybody can get all the piss they want to. But now you got idiots doxing that Ice Age. I'm not going to say his name here. I know his name. I'm not going to say it. Mm-hmm. That's not necessary. But they're doxing him now. That his neighbor put his address.
They put it on Reddit.
Yeah, she also did it on TikTok and did a whole TikTok video showing where he lived. She is now arrested for that. It's illegal to dox. Some states, it's illegal to dox anybody. Some states, it's only legal to dox, state employees, police officers, deputies, judges, attorneys. But some states, it's illegal to dox anybody. And I think in Minnesota, it's illegal to dox anybody. You cannot just, if you had to meet elements of the offense, you had to put their information out there and incite violence with it, trying to, hey, come hurt him, he lives here. She knew what she was doing. Mm. And she got fired from her job, and they arrested her. And she says, oh my God, yeah, you can't do that. He's done nothing wrong. He's already been cleared by the DOJ, the Department of Justice, and the FBI. And then Minnesota, they want their whack at him, and the FBI is like, no, because you're not going to you're not going to be fair about it at all.
Well, they don't have jurisdiction.
No, they really don't. They can try.
They really don't, because
they can try jurisdiction, but it was a federal operation.
Yeah, that's why they don't have it.
But they want, because they, damn well, Minneapolis would not treat that agent fairly.
No.
At all. That would be 100% political, just like Derek Chauvin, just like George Floyd shit, the same city. It's the same shit. There would not be fairness. So the feds are like, no, we're handling this one. Thank you very much. And the feds are bitching because we cut them out of the investigation. Like, yeah, yes, we did. Because you don't need to be involved in it. It has nothing to do with you. So you can go fuck off kindly. And Governor Walz, who is a scumbag, and the mayor of that town, they're both now under investigation for impeding federal investigations and getting in the way. When you are a mayor, when you're sworn in as a mayor, when you're sworn in as a governor, when you're sworn in as a chief of police, when you're sworn in as a sheriff, as a senator, a congressman, a president, you swear to uphold the laws. That's part of your oath. These guys seem to forget that as soon as they take that office, and it goes against what their constituents want. All of a sudden, don't do this. Don't follow the laws. Don't help. Don't interfere. Tell law enforcement don't help, and tell everybody you get in their way and stop them, and you have every right. They're not real cops. When your governor and your mayor is telling you that they're not real cops and you can absolutely interfere, of course we're going to do it, and that's going to be their excuse in court. We were told by the governor they're not real cops. They're kidnapping people.
Has any one of them made that statement? Now, I know people on the ground are making that statement, but I really don't. It's too much, so I really don't even care to pay attention to it. But is there
Well, I think it's important because it's going to come down here, and we're going to be dealing with it down here. Yeah. Now, are we going to deal with it at the same level? Are we going to deal with it at the same level that they're dealing with it up there? No, because this is still Texas. But certain areas of Houston, certain areas of San Antonio is going to be a problem. Certain areas of Dallas is going to be a problem. Fort Worth, probably not so much. Dallas is going to be a problem. Austin's definitely going to be a problem. But you're not going to hear problems in Laredo, Brownsville. So, yeah, you're not going to have those issues. So, I don't know what to say. I really wish our listeners would hopefully put that word out to people that, look, it's not cool to interfere and get in the way of just stay out of it. But before we ended this show, I did want to, we got an email from, and I'm not going to say her name, so we'll just call her A.
Okay.
But A wanted to reach out and thank us for all the hard work and putting the podcast. So A, you're very welcome. She's going through the police academy right now, back in the Boston area. So I don't know if it's Boston PD or Massachusetts State Police or whatever it is, but hey, that's great. That's awesome. And she said that actually our podcast has helped her pass her tests on search warrants, constitutional law, use of force. It's helped her pass her exams. So apparently we're doing something right.
I sure would hope so.
So A, that's awesome. We'd love an email from you when you graduate the academy.
Yeah.
Please reach out to us. She said, and we may have to do an episode because she specifically asked us to talk about EVO, which is emergency vehicle operations, which is high-speed driving, testifying in court, defensive tactics. We can do a whole episode on that for her. Mm-hmm. We can figure that out. EVO is important because you're horsing around a 6,000-pound vehicle around the public. Yeah, you do need to know how to drive at high speed and drive safely.
Yeah.
Because we have a duty to the public, to be safe. Testifying in court. I testify in court a lot. He's testified in court. There's no real magic to it. Just be honest, be accurate, be concise.
Yeah.
That's it. And be professional. And then defensive tactics, that varies person to person because he could be a black belt in jiu-jitsu and I may have no skill set at all. He could speak on it better than I could. Maybe I just like to street fight. I'm Irish. I like to fight, but I've had no formal training. But can I fight? Yeah, I can fight. I can fight like the third monkey on Noah's Ark and brother, it's raining. You know what I mean? So we can't really speak on that. Neither one of us are defensive tactics instructors. All I can tell you is you do what your stripes can handle and what you feel the situation warrants, and good luck.
Right.
That's all I can tell you. But we're proud of you. When she sent this email January 5th, and she said she was 13 weeks into a 24-week academy. So 24-week academy is a pretty long academy. So that's probably going to be a large agency, maybe Boston, Massachusetts State Police.
Yeah.
Who knows?
6
She
months.
says Boston area.
Yeah.
It's a 6-month academy, and that's about right. Mm-hmm. We could do a 2-year police academy, and you still not going to teach you everything. There's just some things you just got to learn by doing it.
Yeah.
So, good job. Please shoot us an email when you complete and tell us how you did, and we'd love to know if you want to just tell him and I what agency you're with. We won't dox you like that. We won't put out what agency you're going to, but I'd like to know what agency you're going to. So please enjoy the show. Pass it on to your fellow academy classmates. Maybe they'll learn some shit too. I know you said you want to keep your secret weapon, but hey, we all work together here. So it works for you, can work for someone else too. So unless you just want to be that, I'm number one, okay, be number one.
There you
but
go.
Help each other out. So, Jamie, anything to add?
No, I'm all good.
It's been a rough ride, brother, and I'm hoping the world starts to calm down a little bit, but I just don't see it calming down. So,
Yeah, true.
Well, brothers and sisters, be safe. Watch each other's backs. It's a dangerous world out there, and it ain't getting any safer. So you got to have eyes in the back of your skull. You got a 360 vision. You need to have it. If you want to leave us emails, it's runnincode2023@gmail.com. That's RUNNINCODE2023@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Or you can leave comments on our YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel or on the videos itself. There's nothing racist or prejudiced because we'll delete that. But if it's just something stupid and funny, I'll leave it up there and I'll make you look dumb on the next show because you put it in public as a comment. So that's fair game. But if you email us and you ask us to keep certain things private, we will not mention your name, what agency you're working for. We're not going to do that to you. So unless you got anything else, brother.
Nope.
Well, from J-Man and I here in South Texas, we wish everybody to have a good week and be safe. And we're out of here.